back again. Mm-hmm.
Over the summer term, Dispatches has followed 3 boys from the same class, struggling with poverty, homelessness and overcrowding.
I came in year 2, you came in year 3. And I came in year 4.
Yeah. 2, 3, 4.
The £20 cut in universal credit means as many as 300,000 more children are being pushed below the poverty line. But with fuel prices at an all-time high and landlords once again able to evict tenants, homelessness is also threatening Britain's most vulnerable children.
So I heard that you haven't got TV or no Wi-Fi or anything to do at home. What I've done, I've made you a little pack.
Blood, that's fucking embarrassing, blood. Like, I remember when I was like 8 years old, 10 years old and that, yeah, there was some people that didn't have Wi-Fi and that. And do you remember the old AOL dial-up? I never had that, but I remember at my auntie's house, she had the AOL dial-up. So basically, if you're on the internet and someone rings the house phone, whether they pick up or not, I'm not too sure. But anyway, it disconnects the internet connection. But I remember when I was 8 years old, around 2000, 2001, not that much people had internet. Maybe same when I was 10, 2003 and that. But blood, this ain't them times, you know. I don't know when this video was shot, but between, let's say, 2015 and now, who the fuck does not have Wi-Fi in their yard? Who the fuck cannot afford? Don't get it twisted. I think Virgin's a rip-off. They charge you like £36 a month. I don't really want to pay it, but I do. You have to. Who the fuck can't really afford £36? Or even, there's other cheaper internets out there, £20, £25 and that. Yeah, the connection and that's going to be slow, but you have a fucking connection. Who the hell can't afford £20, £25, £30 for internet, man? It's embarrassing. Who the hell in post 2012, 2015 don't have internet?
These kids speak for over 4 million children growing up in poverty in Britain today.
They have a very small home with barely any bedrooms. But there's 4 people squished into one room. My mum has been on a bidding list for about 9 to 10 years.
Right. One of the kids there just said something about a lot of people living in a room, or I saw a lot of beds in there. Let me peel it back one sec.
Have a very small home with barely any bedrooms. But there's 4 people squished.
Right. You see here, a bunk bed that holds 2 youths, a next bunk bed that holds 2 youths. So 4 youths in one bedroom. I've seen that. To be fair, that's the most I've seen though. But I went to one flat one time and there was a triple bunk bed. Someone on the lower level, yeah, like, you see, oh shit, one sec. Oh my god, one sec. You see here, where that little Hello Kitty thing is, one kid was sleeping as low as that, and then a next kid, maybe like where that youth's foot is, and then another kid on the top bunk where the boy's hand is. Literally sleeping like fucking Ross Clark slaves on the Atlantic slave transport boat and that. It's mad. And you got 3 youths, 4 youths sharing the same Ross Clark room. It's embarrassing. Like these parents and that, they're busting nuts and that, bringing kids into the world, but they can't even house them. The fuck, man?
Into one room. My mum has been on a bidding list
mold on the
for
walls.
about 9 to 10 years, yeah, and she hasn't gone nowhere.
You need money because you can have a house and can have anything you want.
After almost a year of lost education,
I cry because I can't understand the work very well. It just feels absolutely terrible to get confused.
these are 3 voices that speak for so many children growing up homeless and poor, as universal credit uplift is taken away. This is their story, in their words.
I just clocked something. I mean, I'm too sharp on this thing. I ain't even seen this before. It's my first time literally watching it.
Need money because you can have a house and can have anything you want.
After almost a year of
Right. Let's just peel that back 1 second.
almost a year.
Right. 9 times 4 is 36, yeah? There is no 4 in the answer to 9 times 4. So immediately that little boy there's got the answer wrong. I'm just that sharp. I was going to say something, but I thought, nah, okay. Let me show my mathematical capability in it, yeah? 9 times 4 is fucking 36.
Year of lost education.
I cry because I can't understand the work very well. It just feels absolutely terrible to get confused.
These are 3 voices that speak for so many children growing up homeless and poor, as universal credit uplift is taken away. This is their story, in their words. Farley Junior Academy is on the edge of Luton, in one of the most deprived wards in Britain. During the pandemic, the partial closure of the airport, the biggest source of jobs in the area, hit the town hard. Schools across Luton found families were struggling more than ever.
If you could go through those bags and make sure we've got all the right stuff in them. Could we have half taken out any non-halal?
Jakob, Kai and Kasim all get help from the school's pastoral care team.
So I was right. So obviously, just judging by the camera quality and that, and by the COVID masks and that, this was shot in like 2020, 2021. How the fuck are these youths living in houses and parents can't afford fucking Wi-Fi? It's £20, £25, £30 a month.
Alifa and Nicola.
Yay! You love carrots.
Kai's mum has a full-time job as a care coordinator, but she still has to rely on universal credit to get by and would struggle without the help the family gets from the school.
School gives us lots of food to help us a lot because she could get a little poor and and it would be hard for her to pay for food. Thank you.
I don't even want to say memorable. It wasn't a positive moment. It wasn't a positive time. But wearing that COVID mask thing was such a notable, such a memorable time that like it don't matter how far into the future we go, 30 years. If you see a video and you're unsure of the timeline or whatever, or when this video was produced or shot or whatever, if you see people wearing COVID masks, you know, okay, 2020, 2021. Like, I'll give you another example of something like, you don't even need to know the date or the day. You just remember the kind of the event, and you can kind of understand or remember what sort of time period it happened. Do you remember that day that Facebook, WhatsApp, and Instagram shut down? Do you remember? Everyone in the world remembers that day. No one can really remember the exact day in that now. Someone put down in the comment section the day that Meta shut down, and Meta controls obviously WhatsApp, Facebook, and Instagram and that. No one can remember the exact date off the top of their head, the date and the year, well, the date and the month and that. But everyone remembers that day. I was talking about it with one tenant, and she said that she remembers the date. And like, how the hell do you remember the date of when Facebook and Instagram and WhatsApp stopped working? She said, because that was the day I gave birth. I said, oh, fair enough and that. But yeah, I remember that still.
Thank you so much. I know other families they help. They once helped Jakob. They've helped Kasim before. They've helped me a lot. They've helped me the most of I know of.
The largest food bank provider in the UK, the Trussell Trust, saw demand go up by a third last year. They provided almost 1 million food parcels for children. Kai lives on the outskirts of Luton. He shares an overcrowded 2-bedroom house with his mum, stepdad, sister and 2 brothers.
This is my Leo's bed. This is Lily Grace's bed. We moved her ladder to here because she had a new bed. he sleeps like I sleep on the top bunk.
Boy.
Since I was born, I had this bedroom. I want my own room because I wouldn't have to hear weird noises at night. And then every night I wouldn't have to hear just someone stomping into my room. And it's hard for me to sleep.
Them stairs, they look steep.
Even though my next door neighbour, they both have bigger houses and master bedrooms. I don't care if we have a small house. At least it's something and we're not homeless.
Oh, it's the middle of the night. Go back to sleep.
Stop. My mum's not that rich. I do save up money in my piggy bank. I will try and lend her some. I will try and lend her as much money as possible.
That's when you know you're poor, you know. When your child, because children are not stupid. They could be 5 years old, they could be 6, 7 years old. They know when their parents are going through financial struggle and that. You know you're broke. You know when you're not doing well. You know when you've hit hard times, when your little 6, 7, 8-year-old is talking about breaking open his piggy bank and giving you money. Look how dirty they look. Come on, man. Look at the alleyway or whatever, the lean-to or whatever. Look how mad it is.
Even though his mum has a full-time job, after paying for housing, utilities, transport and debt repayments, Kai's family...
Debt. This is the reason why so many families are struggling in that. Debt. All because certain people want to wear certain branded clothes, go on certain holidays, drive certain cars, live outside their means. It has a knock-on effect. If you do not have the means to pay for luxuries, you are not entitled to it. If everyone thought like that, debt would not exist. Only good debt, mortgages and maybe loans to start businesses, and that would be the only debt that would exist. But people don't understand that, you know what, yeah? If I don't have the means to pay for it right now in cash, then I don't deserve it. If people understood that, there would be no fucking debt.
Are left with just £8 per person per day to spend on food, clothing and anything else they need.
I'm 8. My mum finds this weird, but we've never been on holiday. Doesn't matter if you go on holiday or not. You can still be a great person. I don't want to go on holiday because you have to spend money at there. Because you'd have to pay for the thing, yeah? But when you get there, you'd have to spend even more money by buying a ticket. And then sometimes you can buy food, unless you brought your own food. But on planes, isn't it, you're allowed your own food? I've never been on an airplane because my mum's not rich enough to. She spends it all on rent and everything else, and I don't care as long as she's trying her best. I love her as much as I do. Sometimes my auntie asks, have you been on an airplane? It'd be a long drive to get to an airport, wouldn't it, from where we live? I don't know the closest airport. Huh? Yeah, that's an airplane. EasyJet, rare. It's uncommon to get that. It's rare because EasyJets they're quite expensive, aren't they?
The overcrowding and lack of sleep have badly affected Kai's schoolwork.
You get distracted on the carpet and on the tables. And if I didn't, I might not struggle so much.
Hands up. Not cool.
If you get distracted, you're missing out on your learning, and learning's important. Very important. If you go to high school and you don't know stuff, it would be embarrassing because you would have to go back into your...
See this little boy, yeah? Like, look like he's kind of fidgeting and that or whatever. He said he's easily distracted. He's doing some weird look or whatever, innit? I'm not saying he's a weird kid, but you understand what I'm saying, innit? You know, they will instantly label him ADHD, ADHD. What? This is the thing, you will get someone else about these ADHD, you know, these stupid labels and that. There's just some kids, they got a little bit too much energy. They're a little bit hyperactive and that. They grow out of these things. I used to be one of them fucking kids, hyperactive. Me and my cousin used to fight all the time, ramp. People would have thought, yeah, do you know what? If we were children, if that term ADHD was labelled and that was popular back then, they would have probably labelled us ADHD and that because we like to fight and ramp. That's the thing, man. They love throwing out these stupid labels and calling and diagnosing these little kids with things and diseases that they ain't really got. ADHD, blood clot D.
Normal schools, and if you're not learning, your life is going to be terrible.
Jackson kind of looking at yesterday, you kind of did the opposite, isn't it? Yeah?
Housing Charity Shelter found 9 out of 10 teachers they surveyed said homelessness and bad housing led to children arriving late for class. 9-year-old Kasim, a friend of Kai's, has been repeatedly late to school all week.
And what happened?
I just don't like getting up early.
Okay, I'm going to get you an alarm clock. Your own alarm clock. And then there will be no excuses for you going to bed late or getting up late.
The only thing I don't like about school is getting up early.
Kasim lives in temporary accommodation with his 3 brothers, 2 sisters, and their dad, Farhad. Their parents are separated, though they still see their mum regularly.
There isn't enough room. We're having to use a room downstairs as a bedroom. And we have to put 2 bunk beds in one room. And with the bunk beds, we also cut off some corners.
Oh my God, they had to cut off the corners with the bunk bed, you know. Fucking hell.
Sometimes it's hard to sleep, because when I get my younger brother to sleep, it's hard because we have to put videos on for him, or we have to make the room not completely pitch black, and we like sleeping when it's pitch black.
With the twins not yet in school, Farhad can't work, so they live on universal credit. After essential bills, the family used to have £6.90 a day each to cover food, clothing, and anything else they need.
Where the fuck is the mum? Like, what kind of mum doesn't, like, usually, typically, it's the women that have the children and the men are struggling to see the kids, or the men are part-time dads and that. But it sounds like she's the part-time mum in this one, wherever they might show, because I ain't seen this. This is the first time I'm watching this. It's like, this is how you know, yeah? This is you know when a woman has lost all complete attraction for the man. I'm not saying it's right, yeah, but this is just human nature, innit? When a woman loses all attraction for the man, she will abandon the fucking kids. That is mad. That is mad. And if you don't believe it's because she's lost all attraction for the man, do you think if she was heavily in love with this man, do you think she would not be around him? Do you think if she was heavily attracted to this man, do you think she would be elsewhere? She would be there with the man and the youths and that. So it's because she's lost attraction for him. She don't even want to be around him. I know women. Women have left their kids and their nice big house that they live in to go live with their fucking mum, because they lost attraction for their man.
But the drop in universal credit has cut that down by 40p a day.
I normally like playing with RC cars, but I don't have one. We don't have enough money, because he gets a bit low on money when we need to go shopping. And if you go poor, you can't pay your rent.
Bills are rising. There's still the rent he has to pay. So obviously it's still tough. When we're running out of money, me and Tegan, we're often going around the house turning off any switches we're not using. Usually we make sure there's no lights on during the day, because that's just a waste altogether. And then there's any sockets that are on that shouldn't be on, like the toaster when it's not being used, or the cooker. We'll go around and we'll turn them off just to like see if we can save some more of that.
Right, so basically she's kind of assuming the role of the mum. I'm assuming this is his daughter and his oldest daughter and that. This was happening. I've seen this a couple of times, you know. When there's no woman in the house, when there's no mum in the house, the eldest daughter, she assumes the role of the mum. So literally, and she's kind of taking on some sort of like masculine energy as well. You know, this ain't, she, not disrespect to her, innit? But like, she ain't like the most feminine looking girl. You know, a lot of feminine girls, if they knew they was going to be on national TV, they would, you know, doll themselves up a little bit. Like, they don't need to necessarily wear makeup and that, but wear some clothes that make them look good, do their hair and that. This girl's sitting on the floor repairing a chair to a blood clot. Look. You know what I mean? So she's naturally been put into like a masculine adult role just because her mum's not there.
All together, and then there's any sockets that are on that shouldn't be on, like the toaster when it's not being used, or the cooker. We'll go around and we'll turn them off just to like see if we can save some more of that electricity.
Wow, that is a fucking urban myth. You see, when you got switches and that, obviously the sockets, if you switch them on, you got the little red sticker that shows, or a red neon, so it's like a red light. People think that if that red light is on or the red sticker is showing that it's on, it's burning electric. I'm a fucking qualified electrician, been doing this 10 years, 2.5 year apprenticeship, 7.5 blood clot years out on my own as a qualified electrician. I'm telling you for a fact it does not burn no electric. You see that little tiny neon? You couldn't even calculate how much it burns. The only way you could calculate is if you've measured it over a fucking 10-year period, and then you might say, okay, yeah, it's charged, it costs like a pound or two. I'm telling you, them little red neons and that don't charge nothing, and don't cost nothing. So when you got your switches and that, obviously I'm pointing to my switch, you can't see it. When you got your socket set that in the on position and there's nothing plugged in, it's not burning no electric. It's just a habit that we have, because we've been told, you know, if it's on, it's burning electric. It's not burning no fucking electric.
Bills aren't 13-year-old Nyla's only worry. The family was evicted from their last house with just a week's notice from their private landlord. She's haunted by the fear that the same could happen again.
You never know when you're going to be told you've got to get out of a place, or that you've got to move and there isn't a place ready for you to go to, and that you're going to be thrown out on the streets. Sometimes I spend more time worrying about whether...
Blood, is it me? That's what I was saying, like, she would like kind of like make herself look a bit more presentable. I thought she was a lot older than that. She's only 13 years old, blood. This is the thing, yeah. When kids grow up in these sorts of households and that, they have to grow up quickly. They're not allowed to be a little princess at age 13. They have to fucking be virtually a woman, blood. I thought she was about fucking 15 or 17 or something. Fucking 13 years old. Fixing chairs and shit. You think my little sister knows how to use a pair of pliers? All right, she's 11. I guarantee you in the next 5 years, she won't know how to use a pair of pliers. She won't even know what a pair of pliers are. Do you know why? Because she don't need to. Because she's allowed to grow up like a child. Because she's got parents that are, you get me, got things under control.
Or not, they're going to kick us out.
The way that works is they could ring me today and say, we want you to move to a different address by Friday. So I'd have to pack up and move.
I end up focusing more on that than I do my studies, so I end up paying less attention to school than I would like.
That's madness. It's a madness.
Ray, can you go downstairs, please? Because I'm trying to do my homework. And you got ice cream. You're supposed to eat downstairs, remember?
Why?
Because. Go on. I'll go play with you in a little bit. Go on.
Kasim also struggles with the many rules that make this a house, but not a home.
I kind of hate it. I can't hang things up. I might want to make a poster and hang it up on the wall, but I can't.
Kasim, he likes Lightning McQueen. He can't put posters up or any pictures that he colours in. It's a breach of the licensing agreements.
I mean, you can get a blue tack and put it on the wall. Blue tack does not damage the wall. Blue tack does not put holes in the wall. So you can use sellotape. Actually, no, sellotape might tear off some of the paint. You can put blue tack on the wall. No one's going to fucking know the difference, yeah?
It's the rules. You have to follow them. Unfortunately.
I mean, these are first world problems, blood. I think, what did they say? They're from Pakistan or somewhere, or they're from somewhere like that, Pakistan or Afghanistan or somewhere in it, yeah. In those countries there, people don't even fucking have homes because they've been blown to smithereens and that. These are fucking first world problems. Let's not complain about not being able to put fucking posters on the wall and that. Let's try and get our own place, yeah. And let's be thankful that we got a fucking roof over our head first and foremost. Moaning about you can't put posters on the wall. I'm not talking about the youth. He's a kid. He's a youth. That's what there's a priority to him. I'm talking about the dad. Yeah, dad talking about can't put posters on the walls or these are the rules and that. Fam, you should have thought about that before you had fucking youths, blood. Do you think if this guy had 3-4 properties and that? Look at him, he's a fucking old man. If he had 3-4 properties and that, you think he'd be worried about being homeless? So it's his fault. And no one else's fault. No one made him have those kids, blood. He decided to bust nuts up in a woman and have youth, so he's gonna have to deal with the consequences of it. If he didn't have all them kids, he wouldn't even be in a situation where, you get me, he's being moved about and he's homeless and that. He would have money to rent on his own.
See, with that, you get risk. You're at risk of putting yourself out on the streets.
If we go homeless, the only thing we actually have to stay in is my dad's car. And last time, my dad's car had a load of things in it. His rear suspension felt like it was going to collapse.
Despite the eviction ban, a family became homeless every 3 minutes during national lockdown. The housing charity Crisis estimates that over 100,000 households have been put at risk of losing their homes by the universal credit changes.
Or your uncles, or any man in your family.
The lack of sleep and constant worries over eviction have taken their toll on Kasim's education.
I worry about falling behind on my maths on topic. Well, mostly maths, because some maths time I keep on nearly falling asleep and that I don't know what to do.
What do you have to do with a 10?
You only have to put a 0 on.
That's it. So how can you struggle with a 10?
It's not a struggle, they're both easy, but I like doing the 11s better.
What about the 12s?
Housing charity Shelter says 9 out of 10 teachers surveyed found that children with housing problems had less energy when they were in school and less motivation.
But with someone like Kasim, he's one of those children that keeps it all in. How he's feeling, and he doesn't want to upset or hurt or, I don't know, be a burden at home and be the happy-go-lucky little brother he is.
I ripped my trouser.
Oh no! Okay, so it's not bleeding, so it's okay. When you go back in, if it still really hurts, maybe we'll put some cold water on it.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So you should be fine. Come on.
School uniforms are a major expense for many families, so a local charity has set up a uniform exchange.
School uniforms are fucking rip-off. I remember, like, obviously my little sister recently started secondary school, and my mum went to the school shop to get her blazers and jumpers and that. And I think my mum was telling me, like, the jumper, for one jumper, is like £20, you know, just because it's got the school logo on it. A fucking rip-off. And like the blazer's like £40 or something. It's a rip-off still.
Wanted to exchange some trousers.
Amazing.
They're 12 to 11, but they've shrunk a bit.
They shrunk, did they? But
And also, I fall over a lot.
I don't think they give you knee pads.
right.
Yes, but when I fell over once,
Well, I feel
this
like
was
a
shorter,
lot
they
too.
ripped.
Look in the mirror.
Go on. Go stand in front of the mirror.
They're way too huge.
Well, you want them more.
They're a bit long, but...
Yeah, but they're going to adjust them for you.
Wow.
And they are too long. They do need adjustments, don't they? How soon do you need them? Is it? They can be ready by tomorrow, sort of lunchtime, if Dad's around.
Yeah,
Yeah,
hang
he's
your
got-
head in shame, my brother, because blood. I would feel embarrassed to have to go to some kind of place where I don't even have to pay or whatever in it. Yeah, this is like some kind of, was it like a school clothing exchange? This place is for poor people, innit? I'm gonna put in the work and make sure I don't have to go to these stupid places and that because I can't afford to buy a school uniform for my blood clot pitney.
The ones he's wearing.
Yeah?
That's it at the moment.
Okay, all right.
Kasim's friend Jakob is also homeless. He lives with his mother and sister in a hostel near the airport.
The worst thing that where I live is a creepy house.
In Luton, dispatchers followed 3 boys from the same class, struggling with poverty, homelessness and overcrowding.
They're playing together, they're mixing, and it's not about schoolwork, it's not about I can't do it. It's about getting in the water and just being yourself, just playing. I think playing is an important part of education. I don't think many of them get to go swimming. I don't think it's a standard thing that they do. Lots and lots of these children never ever go to the seaside. Swim for it, Jakob! Jakob, swim for it! Use your arms like that, yeah? Jakob is one of those that do struggle. Jakob doesn't always have the gear. School provided swimming kit today. From the minute he comes in and he gets his swimming kit, he's smiling and he's laughing and he can't wait to get here. And I think he'd stay here all day if we let him.
When his parents separated, 9-year-old Jakob had to move into emergency housing with his mum and little sister, Rabia. After service charges in the hostel and the cost of getting the kids to school, Jakob's mum has around £7 a day left for each of the family to cover food, clothing and anything else they need.
I have a bunk bed and a single bed.
The building used to be university halls, but is now leased to the local authority. With the national housing shortage, councils are increasingly having to use commercial and office space. Some families are put here while the council decides if they are intentionally homeless.
Boarding house lang lagi.
It feels like a boring house. Blood, this is a first world problem. What do you mean boring? The fuck, blood? You're homeless, blood. What you expecting it to be fun? What the fuck, man?
Kichu time যায় না সময় পাস হয় না আত্মা ওলা লাগে কি ভাল লাগে না আর রাইত হয় না রাস্তা দিন
They them did right up on the wall. Jesus Christ.
ভাল লাগে না আর রাইত হয় না রাস্তা দিন বেশি লম্বা দিন
My home is like very, really old and it looks like someone's used it. And we have to share toilets and nobody forever flushes the toilet.
Oh my days.
It's boring because there is no garden because it's a flat. It's a car parking, so if you play there, a car might run over you if you're not looking. The lights, they don't really work properly, and the doors, they're so loud and it's creeping me out. And the beds, they just have like stains on them, and the taps are running.
Dirty mattress. Imagine that you're so poor that your child has to sleep on a dirty, pissy, blood-stained, urine-stained, sweat-stained mattress.
And they're making a squeaky noise.
When I'm sad, I feel like I'm falling off a cliff. And then when I go on the floor, I die. But that doesn't really happen.
That mattress wasn't even the right size for that fucking bed. You see it? Not even the right size. I mean, that's the least of their problem.
And then when I go...
I bet one of their mattresses, you can feel every rascal spring into that mattress. Oh my God, I went to one tennis yard. Yeah, I'll hold my hands up. I might need to get a new mattress soon. I can start to feel the springs in that. But then again, I could just flip it over to the opposite side. So anyway, I went to one tenant's house before. And some of these rooms are quite small. So obviously the light fitting, the pendant, might actually be in the center of the room. It will be in the center of the room, but the bed is also in the center of the room. So I said to the tenant, look, there's not enough space for me to even get the ladder in and open it up. So do you mind if I put on shoe covers? Do you mind if I step on the bed? She was like, yeah, step on the bed. It's cool. Some of the tenants, I said to them, do you want me to put on shoe covers to step on the bed to access the light? Oh, don't worry about stepping on the bed with your trainers. It's cool. I'll put the bed sheets in the wash. It's laundry day today or tomorrow. I'm thinking, I don't give a fuck what. I don't give a fuck if it's D-Day. I don't give a fuck if it's Doomsday. No one's stepping on my fucking bed with no rascal like trainers on. Anyway, stepped on this little one of the, because it's like a 3-bed yard, and stepped on one of the kids' beds, and my brother, all my sister is watching this. I could feel every rascal spring in this mattress. The mattress was so worn out. Just looking at the bed, just looking at the mattress, you can see every spring print. You can see all the springs in. I got off the bed, and obviously I wear gloves because these people's yards is nasty. I got off the mattress, I put my hand on it, literally you can feel every piece of metal spring. I went downstairs and I said, Miss, which one of your sons, because I saw a few of the sons in the house when I was working. For some reason they weren't at school and that. I said, Miss, which one of your sons has the small room, the dark room? She was like, oh, the one in the back garden. He was wearing like a blue t-shirt. I said to her, Miss, he must have a back made of stone to sleep on that mattress. And you don't realise what you're saying. I'm basically saying like the mattress is shit, you need to get a new one. But it's the truth though. She was like, yeah, I need to get him a new mattress still. And it just highlighted how poor. But their house was rough. One of them nasty houses where like, how dare you even ask me for a cup of tea? You're trying to kill, man. That should be that's an offence to even ask someone for a cup of tea in them nasty yards and that.
On the floor, I die. But that doesn't really happen. When I'm sad, then I can go to the park. When we go in the park, we play tag, and sometimes we play hide and seek. And we go on slides and everything, because it changes my mood.
Dispatches sent freedom of information requests to every council in England. The replies indicate that around 20,000 families with children are in a similar situation to Jakob, living in emergency accommodation. Back at school, Kasim has been getting some extra support to help him catch up.
You are going to try and improve these headlines over here.
Mayhem Atsu and Koala. Mayhem Atsu and Koala's missing. This is how you spell koalas. I need to work a little bit on my handwriting.
How do you spell missing? S-M-I-S-S-I-N-G.
Why are you laughing at me? I need to work on my spellings because I spell most for words wrong.
At A-T. Okay, that's a good at. Z-O.
Me and some other people have been going to an extra group, a different group for spellings that have a bit easier words.
Remember? My turn. Together. Your turn. Moth. Off. Moth.
Off. Moth.
Thing. Thing.
In Luton, after lockdown, children on average are 7 months behind those from more well-off backgrounds.
Right, you're on timetable, rock stars.
During lockdown, since I wasn't going to school, I forgot most things. It made me feel a little bit dumb in lockdown, that I didn't know most stuff anymore.
I forgot my password.
So you were born in what year? Was it 12?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 1-2, not 2-1. We can't buy that time back for them. So they've lost that time, and no amount of money doing a catch-up here and a catch-up there is not going to work. Half an hour a day is not going to fix it. Because they've missed so much. Use your finger to do every word.
I felt sad for him.
In this pandemic, the need has risen.
And the fact that the parents do know that the support from the school is available
and more so that they're reaching out a lot more, I think.
Initially, sometimes it's around financial, but then once
Deeper,
you get to
don't
know
you?
the parents and the family, often other things come out.
Yeah, I've got a meeting with Alifa. Yeah, you?
Kasim's dad has come to ask Alifa about some extra help for his son.
This guy wear the same clothes throughout the whole fucking thing.
So tell me, what's going on with Kasim?
There's something I've been playing on my mind for a bit.
Oh.
I think that there's something not right with his reading and writing. I personally think he's got some learning issues.
I can take your concern to Kim, our Senko, who can look into it, observe him, and then get in touch with you to see what the next steps could be. Because she's more equipped and expertised in that kind of area.
Yeah.
Is that okay? Yeah?
I'd rather reach out and get the help now rather than struggle and then get to that point where I'm in denial about a problem that's there, and I'd rather go to the appropriate people, try and get help with the issue.
I'm gonna go first. I'm gonna be the referee. Actually, no, I'm gonna be the gamer. You're first.
Kai has also been struggling.
Sometimes people are being mean to me, stuff's going wrong.
I'm not playing. Stop!
Then I just get mad, and then people still annoy me, so I just go like into like a different version of me.
Jacob!
In my bad version, it's like me wanting to be horrible, where in the good version, it's trying to take away the bad version, but the bad version's kind of like fighting back.
Oh, why am I so dumb? Jacob, we don't have a goal. Everyone versus you. Because that's not unfair. See, now he scored. Well, I don't care because we don't have a goal.
I'm done. I'd be thinking I should have never played or done that thing. It just feels absolutely terrible to get confused. It feels really sad. Sad and mad at the same time.
So when we were playing nicely, Jacob wouldn't listen to me.
Just ignore it and carry on playing the game. You see, you lost out. You keep walking away from it, you lose out every time. Can't we keep having this conversation every single day, can we? Please remember that, yeah? Well, let's go line up.
Kai's parents have been worried about his temper since the lockdown. They've come to see the school's special educational needs coordinator, Kimberly.
So as I said, we're going to put together the Edwin Lobo referral. So at school, we looked at patterns of behaviour, and the teacher noticed that she notices more patterns of the behaviour becoming difficult is when he's outside. Yeah. And what kind of patterns do you notice at home, like any triggers?
If his tablet stops receiving access to the internet, he loses his temper, he becomes
emotional.
Hysterical.
Yeah.
Yeah, floods of tears, screaming and shouting.
And he throws things, doesn't he, out of frustration.
The next one says, is perfect in every way.
In my eyes, yeah, obviously he is. But I don't know, because I don't like that question, because it just seems
not
like
nice,
you're
yeah.
Because you're not a certain way, you're not perfect.
Yeah. There are a few in this that are a bit like
or
that.
maybe they should change the way they're...
They shouldn't they?
That's a bit mean.
It's not.
Because and that's really upsetting, because
I know.
it's really upsetting,
It
because
is.
you're saying because he's a certain way, from that list, he's not perfect.
Yeah.
Well, no child's perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
But then, obviously to a parent, your child is perfect.
Yeah, well, that's the problem. You in fucking denial, blood. Yeah, see, this. If people want to move the goalposts and that to make themselves feel better. Oh, well, maybe they should change the questions and that because it doesn't make their son look good. But if it did make their son look good, then yeah, that's all right. You can keep them questions there.
my mum, yeah, I know how she loves me so much, because if she didn't love me, she wouldn't buy me a tablet. And she saved up £60 for a tablet. Imagine saving up £60. It took her a long time. I'm just building a mega house. No, a restaurant.
£60. I get paid £65 per job. I do 5 in a day. Right, these parents are seriously poor. They need to stop fucking having kids, blood. I made a video, was it a reaction video? Was it yesterday or the day before? I was talking about there'll be a lot less people on this earth if you had to pay £1,000 up front to have a child. That would cut down the fucking world's population from 8 billion to like 1 million, 500,000 easily.
I've never been to a restaurant. I want to go to a restaurant.
Wow.
Because they have fancy food and they have nice desserts.
Has he even been to a cheap Curvan or cheap Nando's or cheap fucking Wagamama's restaurant, you know?
I'd really like to go to a place with macaroni and cheese for a food offer. I'll put a sign that says the options where you get to the order stand. Macaroni and cheese, pepperoni pizza, and some cool stuff that I like. When they changed the cafeteria at school, I was like, is it going to be epic? Is it going to be terrible? And then I realised when I walked in, it was extremely cool. It's got dinner booths, it's got tables, it's got everything that you need in a restaurant.
Beef burger and a bun, please.
Wow. Is this for a couple of families?
I didn't realise there was that much food.
Yeah, this is just for Kasim, all of this.
Wow.
This one here is for Lily, Grace and Kai. And I think in this pile here or there is Rabia and Jakob's.
The food parcels have made a huge difference to Jakob's family. But because they share a communal kitchen with 2 other families, they keep everything in plastic bags on the floor.
They have to hide the food because the other people then will teeth and eat out their ass clut food. This is fucking madness, blood.
In Luton, 3 boys from one class have been struggling with poverty, homelessness and overcrowding.
Well, what I'm scared of most is not getting enough money to pay my rent and getting food. Because you can't survive without food and water.
See, he's afraid of that. Yeah, do you see that? He's afraid of not earning money. And well, let me peel it back one sec.
In Luton, 3 boys from one class have been struggling with poverty, homelessness and overcrowding.
Well, what I'm scared of most is not getting enough money to pay my rent and getting food.
I don't know how old the youth is, like 8 years old or something, because I think they said he was born in 2012, so he's like 8 years old. He understands the struggle. He don't like the struggle that he's in. This is mad. The little kid says that he wants to have money when he's older so he doesn't struggle to pay rent and he doesn't struggle with food and that, because he doesn't want to be in this situation, blood. That is mad. Do you think my little sister understands, oh, you know, you need money to pay rent so you don't struggle with food also and that? She don't understand that because my family are not struggling for bills. They're not struggling for food and that. Yeah, they're not rich. We ain't no rich people. But at the same time, rent is paid and there's always food on the table and I get takeaways on the weekends and shit like that. The little kid has actually understood that, you know, you need money to survive in this world. He's had to learn the hard way, you know. It's fucking madness.
Because you can't survive without food and water. Well, I have temporary accommodation. My dad's bidding on houses.
So you live in a temporary house? I live in a temporary house. It's an international house.
Me and Kai, we both share a room with 4 people.
I just have 1 bathroom, 2 bedrooms, and
You should ask your dad to get bidding on some houses so you can have your own house.
no, my mum can only go on a bidding list. My dad can't go on a bidding list. In temporary house is the worst thing. It's like a workhouse.
We don't have internet at home.
You can get free internet when you're inside co-op, and then it will say you're connected, and then you can watch.
Alright, so the reason, alright, it makes sense now. So the reason why the little kid don't have internet is because they're in temporary accommodation. So that's why they don't have internet. But still, why the fuck are you in temporary accommodation in the first place? Like, come on, man. And even still, right, how come you ain't got mobile hotspot? Why have you not got like, like unlimited internet so you can use it for mobile hotspot? And alright, it's going to be mad slow and that. But why is there no sort of internet connection in the first place? Why are you in fucking temporary accommodation, bro?
I always look for free internet because I want to watch YouTube.
Well, what is this?
You need to bring
The coat. What buttons on? They're the Queen's button. They're like queens. I think this is the flag of England. I don't know.
My friend's daddy's so rich. She wears nice clothes. I wish I had clothes.
This one's just for decoration, but I also do that on when I forget to bring my normal coat.
And I only have a little bit of school stuff, like school jumper.
Come on. Yours is pretty too.
Yeah, but mine's too fat. And people say it's an auntie jacket.
Sorry?
People say it's an auntie jacket because it's too long. I always ask my mom if I can go Tesco and go buy something. She always says no. She can't even get me no toys. She can't give me no clothes. She can't give me.
Oh my god. Oh my days, blood. The youth needs new shoes. But what I was about to say was, basically the little girl saying, I'm hungry. Can we go to the shops? Can we go Tesco and buy food? And that, probably on the way to and from school. And the mum says, no, we can't afford it. And I know they can't afford it. From time your shoes is looking like that, blood, the little girl needs new shoes. And the mum will look at them and say, nah, you got another few years out of those shoes, at least few months and that. They need to go in the fucking bin, blood.
Well, yeah, she's not going to whisper it, is she?
At the hostel, families have to share communal bathrooms and kitchens. So when Rabia and Jakob get food parcels from the school, they keep them in plastic bags on the floor.
Pizza.
Jakob has been struggling to see the whiteboard at school. But many families in emergency housing say they find it hard to get to places like dentists and opticians. Again, the school has stepped in.
You know, a lot of the facilities in this area is in the town centre. So things like your opticians, your dentists, things like that, they're in the town centre. And some of our families have been placed up by the airport. So it's an area they don't know, they're not familiar with. And so that, logistically, that has an impact on them actually knowing where to go and how to get there. So we would try and look at the solution.
Do you speak English?
She speaks Bengali.
Okay, but you can speak English, yeah? Okay, good. So, have a look at that screen behind Mommy. Can you tell me what letters are those? Can you see them or are they blurry?
Blur.
Okay, let us try with the other eye.
I have to have glasses. Can't see far away. The glasses are paying.
Are they? Are the glasses?
For money.
No, you get your glasses free. Yeah, so we do some glasses downstairs, which are going to be free for you. Okay? And then we want to see him in 6 months again.
My glasses are free, and it's good because my mum, when she pays it, then she's gonna have less money. So we got to free one.
No. I found a plan. Wait, did you draw a picture for this yesterday? Because
And then you can swap around. So Jakob, you can take it off at break and lunch, yeah, and put it into your case. Okay, but keep it on in lessons because it'll help you see better. Okay.
it is.
Hi, good morning, Michelle. You're right. Good morning, Khalida. I want to take you guys through to the meeting room, if that's okay.
Local authorities are supposed to assess families within 56 days to then come up with a plan for longer-term housing. Jakob's family have been in the hostel for 113 days, so his mum has come into the school for advice. Figures returned from the Freedom of Information requests suggest that 16,000 families have currently waited longer than 8 weeks for a housing plan.
So obviously we want to talk today about your housing situation. So obviously it has gone over 56 days.
I'm assuming that woman there, who's one of the school teachers, is going to be translating, because I'm sure the little boy said the mum only speaks Bengali and that, but we'll see.
So I it's good you go
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not sure how long it's going to be.
আমি তো দেখি না তারা বাঙালি ফ্যামিলি গুলো আছেন তারা তো কইরা 17-18 মাস থেকে তারা ওলা পড়ে গেছে
Met other people that they're Bengali families that have been there for 17-18 months and that scares her, that does worry her.
I know, but this is what I'm said to her, that she could be there. You could be there up to 2 years. They say that for temporary accommodation.
With for 2 বছর
I know, but this is what I'm said to her, that she could be there. You could be there up to 2 years. They say that for temporary accommodation.
হইতে পারে 2 বছর at least না maximum হইতে পারে বুঝরানি এর ভিতরে দিলে হইতে পারে কোনো গ্যারান্টি না আপা I think we expected it with the pandemic that we will be helping with housing, helping with benefits, and making that odd phone call or filling up a form. It's as simple as that. If you haven't uploaded evidence form, you can get sanctioned. That means your benefit's going to stop. So let's prevent that from happening. And it takes me 2 minutes, and it might take them a day looking for someone to help them.
Councils in England told dispatchers that a family's average stay in temporary housing was 10 months, though 40 local authorities reported an average of over a year.
What happened? Guy.
Kai. What's the matter, Kai? Kai, what's happened? What's wrong?
I'm not allowed in his team, and he said on football I'm allowed to.
Should we go and talk to him about it?
Wait, did Levi say that?
3/4 of children who are growing up in poverty have a working parent. Though Kai's mum is a care coordinator, the family still relies on universal credit to make ends meet. But a recent change in her job title has led to her universal credit payments being put on hold, so things are harder than ever.
My mum's running low on money. She keeps on talking about it. I worry about my mum having less money because you can't pay rent.
Fam, these are problems kids should not... A child's biggest problem and a child's biggest fear is, am I going to get the game or the bicycle I want for Christmas? Not, is mum and dad going to be kicked out of this yard and are we going to be homeless and that? What the fuck, blood?
You know how days fly past? It's kind of like with rent. Because days fly past, rent flies past, doesn't it? I know, I'm just waiting for her!
Hi. shout at your sister. I was busy doing something. She can.
Look how dirty the yard is. Look how dirty the yard is.
If my mum doesn't pay rent, I'll cry. And it wouldn't be fun living on the streets. Because you have to beg people for food and they'll say no.
Mum, Rachel, hopes to find the family a bigger place. She's bidding for a council house, but has been on the waiting list for 8 years.
So this is where Mummy goes to look at all the council houses and see if there is a house available. So there's 1, 2, 3. So then we can go and look at this one. It's 3.
House, but has been on the waiting list for 8 years.
So this is where Mummy goes to look at all the council houses and see if there's a house available. So there's 1, 2.
Now, I was just interested in looking at this because basically, obviously, I work on behalf of like the Northampton Council and that, and a lot of tenants do house swaps and that. So just interesting to see, maybe that's how they look at swapping houses and stuff like that. Okay.
3. So then we can go and look at this one. It's 3 bedrooms. So here it says 274 and there are 489 bids on this property.
You
So
got
one
no
house.
chance.
Just for one house.
Whoa.
So 273 people would have to say, no, I don't want the property before I can even get to view the house.
Imagine wanting to go out on a date with a gal and she said, well, boy, I've got 279 men waiting before you to take me out on a date. No chance, my brother.
I feel really sad because I don't like waiting longer. There's not a lot of houses for them, for a lot of people.
1.5 million people now live in overcrowded homes, up almost 50% in the last 5 years.
Oopsie.
Kasim is being assessed by Special Educational Needs Coordinator, Kimberly.
Oh, so noisy. I was looking at your fantastic handwriting, your amazing work, and then I would like to see how big and strong you are and all the things you can do in your PE. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah? I think lockdown's had a massive effect in the fact that obviously these children who are living in temporary accommodation that doesn't have a garden and outdoor space, getting outside and playing, it just wasn't the priority for the lockdown.
Health and fitness have a direct impact on learning, and upper body strength is important to develop handwriting skills.
Really?
There you go, swing, and can you grab the next one? Ah, nearly. Obviously the equipment that we provide for the children, even in the junior school, helps them to take part in activities to try and build that strength. But sometimes we have children who require some additional support. Oh dear. When you think about children in different areas who go to lots of like swimming clubs after school, they take part in lots of different sports, playing musical instruments. A lot of our children don't get those opportunities.
See how big the boy's... Did you see how big the boy's jacket is on him? Fucking hell. The dad has got a hold of that jacket, however he's bought it or got it for free so it can last him until he leaves that school. If he's 8 years old, he's between year 3 and year 4. So he's still got at least another 2 years. No. Like a wizard's cloak on him to a blood clot. Jesus Christ.
While the end of the school year is welcomed by the kids, for their parents it means 6 weeks of no free school meals. Nicola is out delivering food parcels to help families who are struggling.
We referred some of our families to food bank and we asked them to deliver the food to the school. Then we did it to the families because sometimes there's a stigma attached to a food bank van pulling up outside your house. I'm just going to Casim's house now to deliver what they've supplied for the family and to help them out during the holidays.
Oh my word, they've got so big!
They'd be even bigger if they had food to eat.
Hello! Oh, you look like Cassim.
It's this big family. He's on his own with the children. I know he's struggling.
Nice to see you, boys.
See you later. If we can alleviate one pressure from him or help out a tiny weeny bit, it could make a big impact on how he's at home, or how the family run. Money worries are huge and have such an impact on everyday life. And okay, it doesn't solve the problem, but it certainly will hopefully take the edge off it, even if it's for a couple of weeks.
I am worried with the holidays coming up. We are looking at different things to put in place so the children are seen. So we're going to invite them for the summer holiday 2 weeks into school where we're going to be running the summer camps. So at least we see them, they're taking part in some sort of activities and sitting at home.
And this one here is a £30 food voucher for Aldi. So it's only for food. Okay, see you later, boys. All right, bye.
It is sad seeing them going through certain things that you think, no, because I've got children and I wouldn't imagine them going through that.
1, 2, 3, go.
They're the worst orchestra known to man.
Today is the last
Everything
ukulele
out of
concert
sync.
term. One of the children will be awarded a brand new instrument to take home.
So what I looked at was who helps the most and who improves the most. And guess who thinks it's theirs? Put your hand up if you think it might be yours.
I was expecting like a favourite student, like Tyrell, Levi, Logan and Andrew, but then she said, so it's a boy, and I'm like, okay, it's not me, it's not me, it's not me.
It's Kai. Well done, Kai.
And she said, well, you were the most helpful out of everyone, and I'm like, thank you.
Ooh. Can I have this one?
You can. Well done, young man.
Things are also looking up for Kasim. His dad has rearranged the children's rooms so everyone can get a bit more sleep.
This is my new room. I have a toy corner. Mari sleeps there and I sleep there. Because last time he fell asleep on it, he fell down. It's made the room be a lot cleaner than it used to. And it's made it a lot easier for me to sleep. I'm able to wake up on time for school.
But for Nyla, there are other worries.
If the bill prices go up, my dad's going to have a harder time. Sometimes there are months where we...
Fam, this girl's fucking 13 years old, blood. She shouldn't need to be worrying about. She shouldn't even have conversations or even usher the words, oh, if the gas prices or bills go up, my dad's going to have a hard time. 13 years old, taking on adult problems, blood. This is stupidness.
Barely have enough money to make it through the month. It's already difficult, and this is just going to make it harder on him. I can see a bunch of sticks and twigs on someone's shed.
I see clouds.
Yeah, clouds are moving. Come on, tell me which way the clouds are moving. They're going that way, are they?
Her biggest worry should be not being able to get on a school bus because there's too much pitney trying to rush the bus at the same time. Not fucking her dad's bills and gas and rent and electric charges and bills. What?
And that way.
When it comes to this winter, I know I'm not going to be the only one suffering. I've got quite a few friends who also are on like low income, so there are going to be families out there during this winter who don't have enough money to pay their bills.
Over 4 million children are growing up in poverty, and 750,000 are homeless or overcrowded. Child Poverty Action Group predicts that ending the temporary universal credit uplift could push 300,000 more children into poverty, and 100,000 more households will be at risk of eviction. With fuel prices at an all-time high, children's charities warn a perfect storm is coming.
For the last time,
so they're in year
good
4.
afternoon. I don't care if I'm rich or poor. I think I'll be poor, but I don't mind.
Well done, Kai. Well done, lovely. Well done, lovely. Well done to Kasim.
Some kids are literally just born to fail. Not saying that they will fail completely. I'm not saying they can't turn it around in it. But what I'm saying is, when you come from a poor background like that, like there aren't no kids from no middle class backgrounds where their mum and dad is a doctor and a fucking lawyer or a rocket scientist talking about, I don't care if I'm rich or poor, I'm probably going to be poor. No. They think to themselves, I'm just going to be just like my parents. I'm going to be a doctor, lawyer, banker, whatever, dentist, fucking rocket scientist, and I'm going to be well off. See, when you enter the world with that sort of mindset, that defeatist mindset, it's not his fault. It's the parents' fault. You naturally just follow that path and become a poor person because that's all you know. You think to yourself, well, I'm unlucky. You know, all my friends and family, they're all poor, so I'm just going to be just like them. You are what you hang around with. You hang around with poor people, you're going to be poor. You hang around rich people, you're going to be rich. Even if you don't necessarily have that much money, if you're around people who are millionaires and that, if you've got good ideas and you're a hard grinder, they're going to want to invest in you. If you're around a bunch of broke people all day and all they want to do is moan about the government and bun weed and get high and drunk and that, you're just going to be a bum idiot your whole life. Blood.
If I don't learn, I might not be able to get a good job and I might end up poor.
Good. Remember that.
Jakob!
You need money because you can have a house and can have anything you want. And when I get older, I want to be an engineer.
My future would be better if I get a house because I want to live far away from here and I want to have a better life.
Have a good summer. And you, don't cry, you. Look after her, okay, Kai?
No. Being rich is not good because you're buying things here, but it never makes you happy.
See, this is what they've done. They've demonized being rich. The parents are poor, so they tell the kids to make themselves feel good, to make the parents feel good. The parents will say to the kids, being poor is bad, but being rich is also bad as well. So it makes them feel like, you know what, yeah? They're kind of telling the kids, it's not that bad being poor, if you get what I'm trying to say. It's a coping mechanism. I've even heard rich people say, money don't make you happy and that. Well, tell them rich people that if money don't make them happy, tell them to give away all their fucking money. They won't do it. That mum, whoever the mum or the dad who's told the kid this information, they're projecting, being rich ain't a good thing and that. It's okay to be poor. They're trying to make being poor good. They're trying to normalize being poor.
Is it?
Hi, Cassie.
Let me peel that back.
You can have a house and can have anything you want. And when I get older, I want to be an engineer.
My future would be better if I get a house because I want to live far away from here and I want to have a better life.
Have a good summer. And you, don't cry, you. Look after her, okay, Kai?
No. Being rich is not good because you're buying things here, but it never makes you happy.
How would you know? How would he know that buying things and being rich will never make him happy? He's a fucking 8-9-year-old child. He's been told that by someone, and that someone is his parents, his mum and dad. Bullshit, blood.
Hi, Kasim. Have a good summer.
As the UK prepares to host COP26, billed as the last chance to save the planet, is Boris Johnson leading the world to net zero?
Disrespect.
Every other country to follow the lead of the UK
or up the garden path?
Jesus Christ. Fam, it's 4 a.m, you know. Man's a madman. You know what? Yeah, man's making this video. It's all 7 past 4 in the morning. I thought to myself, you know, I can't sleep, and rather than toss and turn and watching these stupid videos on Instagram and that, instead of consuming content, why don't I produce content? And hopefully, obviously, it will tire me out. So now I'm ready to go to my sleep. Stay was done.